Welcome to the shadow frequency, where the veil between this world and the next grows thin, and the things that whisper in the dark are given voice. From the cryptic candlelit studios, deep in the Indiana forests, your host, Matt Wilson, and his spectral producer, Juniper Ravenwood, unearth the forbidden, the forgotten, and the fearsome. So, still your heart, dim the light, and listen closely. For once you tune into the shadow frequency, you may never tune out.
Okay, let's see what the cabinet has for us tonight. Old maps, a jar labeled "Do Not Tap," a rubber duck with teeth. Nope. Oh, here we go. Something small.
What'd you find this time?
Matt, it's a pocket watch.
Well, that doesn't sound too bad. That's downright quaint compared to some of the stuff that's crawled out of there.
Yeah, except this one has no hands. Just a digital countdown across the face, and it's ticking down fast.
How far left?
4 minutes, 3, 2... Wait, now it's at 7 hours. And now it's at 19 seconds. Matt, this thing resets at random.
Okay, no, absolutely not. Put that thing back before it resets to run for your life.
I tried earlier, it wouldn't let go of my hand. But it's fine now, see? There, that with the rest of the eldritch nightmares.
Fantastic. If that thing ever hits zero, I'm assuming the podcast ends, and so do we.
Working theory. All right, digging deeper. Whoa, CB radio just crackled again.
No, not dealing with that today. That thing only lights up when something's listening.
Good news, then. I wasn't reaching for it. Carry double tonight's folder. Episode 246, Mel's Hole, the bottomless pit of Washington.
Finally, the legendary hole that might be bottomless brings animals back to life, swallows everything tossed into it, messes with radio frequencies, and apparently freaked out the government.
Oh, and don't forget the part where the guy who called into Coast to Coast Stadium suddenly vanished.
Classic. All right, folks, buckle up. Tonight, we're heading to Washington State to stare into a pit that stares back.
From countdown watches to bottomless holes, just another night in the studio.
Let's get into it. Episode 246, Mel's Hole, the bottomless pit of Washington.
You are tuned to the shadow frequency, where every whisper tells a story from beyond the veil. Hosted by Matt Wilson. Produced by Juniper Ravenwood. With Chris Beach. The darkness continues.
Imagine this. You're hiking through the misty hills of Washington State. The kind of place where the pines whisper secrets to the fog, and the ground feels like it's holding its breath. You stumble upon an old weathered fence post half buried in the earth, and behind it, nothing. Just a yawning circle of darkness, pulling at the edges of your vision like it's hungry. No bottom, no echo, just endless black staring back. Folks around Ellensburg call it Mel's Hole, a pit that doesn't just swallow trash or time, but souls. Or so they say. Tonight on Shadow Frequency, we're dropping in whether we come back out. Well, that's the mystery, isn't it?
Juniper, you always know how to make a guy check under his bed before bed. But seriously, listeners, if you've ever felt that itch, that pull toward the unknown, this one's going to scratch it raw.
Yep.
Mel's Hole isn't just a story, it's a whisper from the earth itself, begging to be heard. Stick around as we unravel the threads and maybe peek into the void.
Peeking into the void is our specialty, Matt. Just don't blame me if your dreams start echoing tonight. All right, over to you. Let's descend.
Hey everyone, Matt Wilson here, your guide through the static and shadows on the shadow frequency. And first off, a huge thanks to my partner in paranormal crime, Juniper, for digging into the file cabinet again. You know that dusty old thing in the corner of the studio where the folders seem to rearrange themselves when we're not looking? She pulled this one out last week, slapped it on my desk with that grin of hers and said, "Matt, this hole's deeper than your conspiracy theories." And damn if she wasn't right. So let's crack open the file on Mel's Hole, the bottomless pit of Washington that's been gnawing at the edges of reality since the 90s. Grab your flashlight, folks, because we're going in. Picture this. It's the rugged backcountry outside Ellensburg, Washington, where the Cascade foothills roll like frozen waves under a sky that's equal parts blue and brooding. Manistash Bridge, they call it, a place where the air hangs heavy with the scent of damp pine and something earthier, something ancient. Back in the early 90s, a guy named Mel Waters buys himself a slice of this wild heaven. Former soldier, tinkerer, guy who knows his way around a fishing line and a half-baked theory. He's out there one day clearing brush when he stumbles on it. Not a sinkhole, not a mine shaft, but this perfectly circular opening, about 25 feet across. Edges smooth, as if the ground just gave up and let go. Looks like an old well, maybe from some long-gone settler. Mel figures, hey, free water source. Let's check it out. He drops a rock. Nothing. No clatter, no splash. Just gone. Like the darkness ate it whole. Okay, weird. But he's practical. Grabs a longer rope, ties on a weight, lowers it down. Feet turn to yards. Yards to hundreds. He burns through spools of the stuff, splicing them together like a mad macrame artist. 800 feet, they say, then 2,000. By the time he's staring at 80,000 feet of line unspooling into oblivion, yeah, you heard that right, 80,000 feet, deeper than the Grand Canyon stacked on itself twice. He realizes this ain't no well. This is a throat. The earth's got a mouth, and it's wide open, breathing cold air that smells like wet stone and forgotten things. No bottom, no end, just a pull. Like gravity decided to take a coffee break and let something else tug instead. Now here's where the whispers start creeping in, like fog rolling off the Yakima River at dusk. The locals, they've known about this spot for generations. Old-timers called it Devil's Hole back when the first settlers rolled in with their wagons and superstitions. Yakima National elders, they had stories too, passed down like heirlooms wrapped in warnings, places where the veil thins, where the underground spirits peek out. Mel starts asking around, and the tales trickle in like drips from a stalactite. One neighbor, grizzled guy with a face like cracked leather, swears he chucked a whole pickup load of rusted junk into it back in the 70s. Tools, tires, an old fridge, enough to fill a swimming pool. Next morning, the hole's pristine, not a speck of debris like it chewed it up and spat out the echo. Don't mess with it, the guy mutters over coffee at the diner. It hungers. But Mel, he's hooked. Can't let it go. So he rigs up a setup. Friends helping out. Because who does this solo? And they start testing the edges. Drop a flashlight. Beam slicing the dark like a knife through ink. It flickers, holds for a second, then snuffs out. Not battery dead, not broken, just gone. As if the light itself got tired of shining down there. They try a TV, one of those old cathode ray beasts, plug it in nearby and tune to static. The screen warps, colors bleeding like watercolor in rain, and suddenly it's picking up signals that shouldn't be there. Ham radio chatter from the 40s, swing tunes warped into dirges, voices murmuring in language that twist your gut. Time's bending, folks. Clocks on their wrists lag behind the one in the truck by minutes that stretch like taffy. One buddy swears his watch spun backward, hands ticking counterclockwise while the sun hung lazy in the sky. And the animals? Oh man, that's when the chill really sets in. Dogs that chase squirrels into hell itself plant their paws at the rim and whine. Hackles up like they've seen the devil's grin. Cats bolt. Birds veer wide, circling the ridge like it's magnetic north for nope. Mel tells his story once, voice dropping low like he's sharing contraband. A neighbor loses his old mutt. Loyal hound, hit by a truck, stiff as a board on the porch. Heartbroken, the guy can't bury it proper, so in a haze of grief he hauls the body to the pit, tips it over the edge. No thud, no farewell, just a soft whoosh, like exhaling into a vacuum. Days later, the man's out hunting rabbits at dawn when he spots it. The dog, trotting through the brush, tail wagging lazy, eyes like polished marbles, blank, empty. It doesn't bark, doesn't come when called, just vanishes into the mist again. Revived, possessed, or something worse, pulled back from wherever the hole leads and wearing the skin like a hand-me-down? Word spreads, of course. This is pre-internet wildfire, but it's smoldering just the same. Ham radio operators buzzing, late-night calls to truckers on I-90. Mel's out there alone now, nights by the pit with a lantern that casts shadows too long, listening to the wind hum notes that aren't wind. He swears he hears scratches sometimes, faint as nails on silk, rising from the depths. Not echoes, responses, like something down there is listening back. And the beam? God, the beam. One neighbor, half drunk on cheap whiskey, describes it. A shaft of blacker than black light lancing up from the hole at midnight, so dense it bends the stars around it. Not light, really, absence. A finger from the void, probing the sky. UFOs, some say, drawn like moths. Portals, others whisper, rifts where time folds and the dead knock to get out. Mel starts dreaming of it. Fragmented visions of watery caverns lit by bioluminescent eyes, faces pressing against unseen glass. Then the real shadows fall. Government types, suits that don't fit the landscape. Black vans with plates scrubbed clean start circling the ridge. Mel's deed vanishes from county records overnight, like it was never filed. Armed escorts show up at his door, polite but ironclad. Sign this, walk away, or else. They fence it off, post guards with eyes like owls, equipment humming frequencies that make your teeth ache. Mel bolts, but not before one last transmission. Another hole, he says, in Nevada. Deeper, hungrier, whispering coordinates in his sleep. Australia's next, wombat wrangling cover for exile. But that's another descent. The pit claims what it touches, folks. Land, lives, logic. And as the choppers fade into the dusk, you wonder, what's it pulling toward? What's waiting at the bottom? If bottom there be. You ever stare into a mirror too long, Juniper? Feel like something's staring back, just out of focus? That's Mel's hole. Not a hole, a gaze.
Matt, gives me goosebumps just picturing those glassy-eyed animals padding out of the woods.
Yeah.
What if it's not revival? What if it's borrowing?
Exactly, and we've only skimmed the surface, or the rim, I guess.
God.
Coming up after the break, we dive deeper, the entities some swear live down there, the time slips that twist your memories, and why the feds might have buried more than just the truth. Juniper, keep the lights on for us.
Phew, okay, if that first half didn't have you double-checking your basement stairs, I don't know what will. Mel's Hole, it's one of those tales that sticks, isn't it? Like oil and water seeping into your thoughts long after the episode ends. Are you out there in the dark wondering if your own backyard hides a hungry mouth? Or maybe you're already Googling Manistash Ridge, GPS in hand. Hit pause if you need to breathe. Grab a snack that isn't shaped like a pit, but don't wander too far, because when we come back, Matt's kissing us even lower into the rifts, the returns, and the shadows that might not let go. What do you think so far, listeners? Cursed land, angry spirit? Let us know. We read everything. Time to fire up the spectral cosmic message materializer. But first, we will check and see what Chris Beach has for us. Chris?
Thanks, Juniper. Hey everybody, Chris Beach here. And listen, if you love the ritual of great coffee but don't always want the full caffeine blast, you've got to check out Savorista Coffee. They craft premium decaf and half-calf blends with bold, rich flavours, all made from high-altitude, hand-picked Arabica beans. Everything's naturally decaffeinated using water or sugarcane-based methods, so there are zero harsh chemicals. Savorista works directly with farmers from Colombia, Ethiopia, Rwanda, and more. And their small batch roasting brings out those incredible flavour notes. like the chocolatey smooth profile in their Colombian Inspiration decaf. And here's the best part. Shadow Frequency listeners get 25% off any product with the promo code SHADOW25 at Savorista.com. All right, I'm grabbing another cup. Back to you, Juniper.
Thanks a lot, Chris. All right. Brakes buzzing like a bad radio signal, but before we plunge back into the abyss, time to fire up the spectrocosmic message materializer. Flipping the switches now, feel that hum, and it's warming up, blowing signals from the ether. Let's see what spectral sparks it spits out this time.
Message retrieved from the void.
Shall we tease it open and let the oldest myth words spill out? Oh, this one's a gem straight from across the pond with that perfect blend of cozy haunt and creative chill. Listen to this from Evan R. in Manchester, England. It says, "Hi, Matt and Juniper. My name's Evan R., writing in from Manchester, England. I've been binging on the Shadow Frequency for a few months now, and I finally decided it was time to drop you a note. I usually listen late at night while I'm doing some digital illustration work. Your episodes are perfect for keeping my brain in that spooky creative mode. There's something about that crackle in your audio and the way you both tell a story that really gets different when the rest of the house is quiet. I'm mostly on Spotify, and your show has become part of my nightly routine. The episodes on hauntings, time slips, and anything involving UFO encounters are my absolute favorites. The way you break down the details without ruining the mystery is top tier. Anyway, just want to say thanks for all the eerie company you've kept me lately. Keep doing what you do. It's brilliant. Stay strange. Evan R." Ah. Evan, you're absolute legend, binging us while sketching shadows in the witching hour. That's the kind of fan that makes this gig feel like a seance with friends, time slips, and UFOs, huh? Mate, you got impeccable taste. Those are my midnight fuel, too. And that crackle, that's just a ghost tuning in, jealous of your illustrations. Thanks for the love. Keep those pencils sharp and the lights dim. If you're out there manifesting cryptids on canvas, tag us. We'd die to see. Remember, folks, if you got your own brush with the bizarre, leave it our way at shadowpodcast@protonmail.com. Matt, your turn. Evan's got me inspired. What's next in the bets?
You are tuned to the Shadow Frequency, where every whisper tells a story from beyond the veil. The darkness continues.
Juniper Evans' letter is like a warm blanket in a haunted house. Reminds me why we do this. Chasing the chills with folks like him tuning in from rainy Manchester nights. And hey, Evan, if you're sketching that black beam from Mel's hole right now, send it over. I need it framed above my desk. All right, listeners, welcome back to The Edge. We've dangled our feet in the first half, felt that cold updraft whispering promises or threats. Now, we're rappelling down. Strap in, because Mel's hole doesn't just defy physics, it dances with it, tangoing through portals, entities, and echoes that linger like bad debts. So where were we? Yeah, the feds rolling up like uninvited guests to a funeral, fencing off the ridge with razor wire and no trespassing signs that glow under moonlight. Mel's gone radio silent after that first big call to Art Bell's Coast to Coast AM in '97, the show that was basically paranormal therapy for insomniacs like us. But he trickles back, fragmented, like signal bleeding through storm static. Second call, a year later. The pit's humming now, he says, not wind, vibrations you feel in your bones, sinking with your heartbeat until you can't tell where you end and it begins. He rigs a speaker down there, blasts some Sinatra to test the acoustics. No echo, but up top, the radio in his truck flips stations on its own, crooning tunes from decades ago, voices overlapping like ghosts at a reunion. One night, it's his own voice, older, warning him to seal it up before they notice. Time rifts, folks, not slips. Full-on folds. Hikers later swear they lost hours circling the area, emerging with frost on their boots in July. Memories of caverns that weren't on any map. In the entities, Juniper, this is where it gets intimate. Mel describes dreams bleeding into waking, wading through knee-deep water in the pit's depths. Though it's dry as bone up top, shapes glide by, not fish, not people, hybrids, elongated limbs trailing phosphorescent webs, eyes like oil slicks reflecting your fears back at you. He wakes sweating, sketches them frantic on napkins, webbed fingers, gills flaring and necks too human. One neighbor, egged on by the buzz, drops a live sheep in a crate. Cruel curiosity. I know, but bear with the madness. Hours pass, then a rumble like distant thunder. The crate hauls back up, singed around the edges, sheep inside, changed, cooked from the core, fur matted, but breathing shallow. And nestled in its belly, this wriggling mass, black as tar, pulsing like a misplaced heart. Mel touches it, says it burned cold, and boom, the cancer he'd been fighting, gone, vanished like a bad lie. Animals returned, multiply after that. Deer with antlers twisted wrong, birds with songs that curdle milk, red elk, the Yakama medicine man who knew the spot from his father's warnings in 61 pipes up years later. People lived down there, he says, voice steady as stone, not our people, older, watching. UFOs too, discs hovering like fireflies on meth, dipping into the beam as if refueling on whatever void fuel burns eternal. Theories? They swarm like midges at dusk. Portal to hollow earth, inner sun, lost civilizations tapping out SOS in Morse, or a rift to parallel Washington, where the sky's green and the dead vote. Non-human intelligences, playing multidimensional chess with our livestock. Mel's last call, 2002. Exiled to Austria under Wombat Restoration cover. Government gag order repped an eco-bull. But he's found another hole, he hints, in Nevada's sands. Deeper, hungrier, whispers of a network, pits linked like veins, pulsing with something that wants out. Sightings spike post-Mel. Black Ops teams combing the woods, EMF meters spiking wild. Locals woken by low-frequency drones that vibrate your fillings loose. One woman in 2009 claimed she peered over the fence, swore she saw hands, pale and elongated, waving from the dark, not drowning, beckoning. Now, I gotta pump the brakes for a second, because as much as this yarn's got me glancing at shadows, let's chew on this. That 80,000 feet of line, geologists like Pat Pringle crunch the numbers and say, nah, the Earth's core heat would have melted it to slag long before it hit anything bottomless. Could be an old mine shaft, collapsed clever, playing tricks with acoustics and echoes. Mel Waters, no records in the county, no deed, no wife at the university, no neighbors nodding along. Art Bell sent crews. They found military buzz, sure, but no pit, no Mel. Hoax? Tall tale spun from the ham radio static and X-Files reruns? It's a thread to tug, something to ground us before the weird pulls too hard. But even if it's fiction, why does it feel so true? Why do folks still trek Manistache? Compasses spinning wild. Wrap your head around that and you're left dangling. Experiment gone rogue, bleeding into folklore, doorway we sealed for good reason, or just the land's way of saying, stay out. Mel vanished after that call, voice crackling like ice on a pond, the hole, fenced, forgotten, officially. But late at night, ridge runners swear they hear it still, a sigh, a scratch, an invitation. Whatever's down there, it remembers, and it misses the light. So there you have it, the pit that stares back. If Mel's hole teaches us anything, it's this. Some voids aren't empty. They're full of questions we shouldn't ask. Sweet dreams, shadow seekers.
Dreams? Matt, you've ensured I'll be sleeping with the lights on and a rope ladder by the bed. That hybrid bit, equal parts nightmare fuel and pass the tinfoil. But damn, if it doesn't make you wonder what's under your feet right now.
Wondering's the point, isn't it? Keeps the frequency alive. Thanks for riding this descent with us, folks. Until the static calls again, Juniper, wrap us up.
And just like that, we've caught our way out of Mel's hole, or have we? Tonight, we tunneled through a bottomless enigma that swallowed lines, lives, and logic whole. From resurrected hounds to government ghosts guarding the gate. If it left you peering at cracks in the floorboards, mission accomplished. Thanks for tuning in to the Shadow Frequency, you brave souls. Your company makes the dark a little less lonely. Keep those stories coming. Drop us a line at shadowpodcast@protonmail.com. And you can haunt our website at shadowfrequencypodcast.com and stalk us on all the socials. Yeah. We're all ears for your spectral sightings. Join us next time for another plunge into the unexplained, because the shadows, they're just getting started. Matt, you want to say goodnight?
Night, Frequency family. Dream deep, but not too deep.
And that's our signal. Lights out. Sweet voids.
This episode was conjured with a solemn vow to explore the unexplained while remaining bound to the truths that have been unearthed. All interpretations are speculative and offered only for your enlightenment and your entertainment.